Okay, looks like we're live on YouTube and standing by for Facebook. Okay, folks, ladies and gentlemen, give me a moment as I get myself acclimated here. Okay, YouTube is up. I'm ready to receive messages on YouTube. Facebook is up as well. Ready to receive messages as well there. Okay, well, the first thing I want to do, and I'm actually posting this on the Facebook page right now. I'd like to give a shout out to Ariel. Ariel has just successfully passed the United States Navy Officer Aptitude Rating Test. And we are very proud of her here at the STEMwithKino.com family. We're very proud of you, Ariel. Ariel really put in a lot of hard work, and we're happy to be a part of her success. Her success is another success for the STEMwithKino.com family, and forgive me, guys, because I know I came in a little bit late, and this because I was actually debriefing, and then I had two other people on at the same time. So, we all were part of her success because we all work together. We come here every week. And I know today is the Afoqt day, but as you guys know, I prepare people for the ASVAB, the Afoqt, the Aviation Selection Test Battery, and the Officer Aptitude Rating, and the United States Army SIFT. So, this was really, really cool. I was really, really proud to really I was really, really proud, just to talk with her, speak with her, and stuff like that. And, she's got a lot going on today. She had a lot going on, and she was able to prepare this test in lieu of all that and everything. So that is a testament to her hard work and dedication in passing this test. Brock, I hope you're ready. I'd like to debrief with you. You can just hit me up on Skype or email or whatever. But yeah, I definitely would like to debrief with you after you take that test, and I hope you are properly prepared. What else? Yeah. So yeah, what did I do? I didn't even do what I was supposed to do. Stand by, guys. I gotta put Ariel's. I think I did, but it might be double posted, guys. And if it is, it is. You know, we'll put in two notifications because she put in twice the work for most people. It's rough when you're working and you gotta buckle down and you gotta like study, like you want to maybe have a cold beer and chill, after work. But in a lot of cases, Ariel was really putting in the work and stuff, and so I can't say enough uh, about you, Ariel. And I'm looking around, but let me look directly at the camera. Congratulations, and I'm very, very proud of you. And it's a win for you, but it's also a win for me as well, because this is just another testament to what we do here. Yeah, it did double post. All right. It did double post. Okay. Let's see here. So, yeah, that announcement for Ariel is posted on Facebook page. And hopefully you guys are following me on Facebook. I hope you guys are. Trying to. Amisha, how you doing, Amisha? Thanks for coming to the channel, and thanks. It's like you're part of the success too. You came and heard about one of my students passing this exam. So, for all you guys, all you newcomers, this is the place. If you are preparing for the armed force, I'm not really sure if it's the Air Force officer qualification test or the Armed Forces officer qualification test. I know it as the Armed Forces officer qualification test. But at any rate, there's multiple sections: math, arithmetic, reasoning, reading comprehension. There's an aviation information section. There's counting blocks. There's instrument comprehension, and there's table reading. So, guys, um, if you are preparing for the AFOQT, this is definitely the place to be. Air Force Officer Qualification Test. Okay, well, I actually have published books that say Armed Forces. So, I mean, I understand, Air Force, Armed Forces, because I believe that the Army takes this as well. So maybe the Air Force is the AFOQT. Matter of fact, let's talk to Google. What does AFOQT stand for? And it does say Air Force Qualification Test. So, what does the United States Army take? All right. I'll get that information in a minute. But, yeah, so Air Force Officer Qualification Test. But at any rate, it's still whatever you want to list it. If you're going for a commission, you're going to have to take this exam, and this is the place to be if you are going to take this exam. So I'm an expert. Yes, I am. I've been preparing for people for this exam for over 10 years. And we've gotten lots of people through, and we're going to get many more through. Because, most people want to do really, really well in this test. And if you're going to apply, it's like the ASVAB. If you're going to apply for certain jobs, you're going to have to do very well in certain areas of the test. So, without further ado, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. All right. So, Drew, good to see you. Brock, good to see you. Almisha, good to see you. And if everybody can hear me, please type 1 in the chat on the message board. If everybody can hear me, please type 1 in the chat. And then we'll get underway. I'm Kino from STEMwithKino.com. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. In my office, the window is cracked, so, the public and the noises from the public, might come in a little bit. You may hear a little bit of that in the background and everything, but it's okay. I like the fresh air, and we're going to press on. So, yeah, I posted Ariel's honorable mention, and again, we're very proud of her. And she is going to move on to bigger, better things. Bigger and better things in the United States Navy. All right, so very good, very good, very good. I need to cover. I was working with a group, and we got to the end, and I was like, oh man, I'm late for my live stream. So I literally had to cut them off to come here and try to make an effort to be here sort of kind of on time. All right, so this will come out kind of big. No worries though. Okay, so the last 2 questions is what the 2 gentlemen had a question about, or they wanted it confirmed. And for my YouTube people, I'm just going to put it up on the board, so no worries. Don't freak out like, oh my God, I don't have Facebook. It does not matter. We are going to do it on the board. We're going to execute the problem on the board, so it's really not a big deal. All right, just checking some emails, and I'm trying to line up some questions, guys. So if If you have any questions in the meantime, please, if I can pronounce my words, please feel free to ask the questions. And keep in mind, though, my clients, their questions get answered first. Some of them are on deployment, and they've emailed me questions. I just want to make sure that I'm not discussing or talking about the same thing we talked about last week. Now, we are a little bit behind the curve this afternoon because I just got finished, disconnecting. So I am going to try to make this as seamless as possible. As Meek Mill sings in the background. All right. Okay, so we want to make sure that we posted this question first off. And I'm going to close some windows out. And we're going to talk about something. All right. Give me a second here. Yeah, I've been trying to put an hour in between my last appointment, but the schedule's been filling up really bad. And I'm trying to service as many people as I can without making my day super long. And so I'm going to just grab some historical, and we'll get back to the timeline next time because we want to talk about United States Air Force history. Let's go to all. And I am actually going to just grab two pieces. Okay, so again, the United States Air Force was initially formed as a part of the United States Army on 1 August 1907. The United States Air Force was established as a separate branch of the U.S. Armed Forces on September 18, 1947, with the passing of the National Security Act of 1947. And it is the second youngest branch of the United States Air Force and the fourth in order of precedence. Okay. And that's according to Wikipedia. So I would like to talk about General Chuck Yeager, or Charles E. Yeager. And I'll just talk about for historically, we'll talk about when the sound barrier was broken. So General Charles E. Yeager.
According to Wikipedia, Charles Elwood.
Yeah. I'll do the talking, young lady. Talking to my computer, guys. Okay, Charles. Well, he's General Chuck Yeager, or Chuck Yeager is what he was commonly referred to as, Chuck Yeager, but Charles is his first name, middle name Elwood, and his last name was Yeager. He was born on February 13th, 1923. He is a former United States Air Force officer, a flying ace, and he set a test pilot record. In 1947, he became the first pilot in history confirmed to have exceeded the speed of sound in level flight. So there's an actual movie called The Right Stuff, and I encourage you guys to, go take a look at that. It kind of covers how these pilots in aviation, the test pilots were trying to break the sound barrier. What they noticed were a lot of airplanes, when they were getting to a super, really, really fast speed, they had the engines to crank out the speed, but controllability was an issue. And he was one of the test pilots that were, and a lot of them were like crashing planes, trying to push it because of the loss of controllability. But he was actually, all right. So he was actually, I think he was a flying sergeant at one point, and don't quote me on that. According to my research, but I will go in that. But I think he entered. And he entered in the United States Army Air Forces, and then, like I said, in 1947, that's when the United States Air Force became their own. They did their own thing. But he began his career in World War II as a private in the United States Army Air Forces, After serving as a mechanic in September 1942, he entered enlisted pilot training, and upon graduation, he was promoted to the rank of flight officer. And now that would be the equivalent to a warrant officer. He achieved the most aerial victories as a P-51 pilot on the Western Front. And this was like the World War II era. After the war, Yeager became a test pilot of many types of aircraft, including experimental rocket-powered aircraft. As the first human to officially break the sound barrier on October 14, 1947, he flew the experimental Bell X-1. So I'm going to put up the aircraft, and shout out to you, General Chuck Yeager. I believe he is still alive. P-51 Mustang.
According to Wikipedia.
Yeah. Okay, so on the Facebook page, we are posting the actual P-51 Mustang, and I believe that was also an aircraft flown by the Tuskegee Airmen as well. They actually had red tails on them. Sorry, I'm bouncing between two different, and I should have just kept it on Google Beta, but I did not. Let's put this P-51 up. So this is the aircraft. He got the most. General Chuck Yeager got the most kills in. All right, that is on the page, and then another one. All right. Bell X-1. So I'm going to put the Bell X-1 aircraft on, and this was the first aircraft, according to my research, to actually break the sound barrier. Now, we talked about controllability issues before, and the thing of it is like they were like pushing these planes to the limit, or what we call the edge of the envelope, and basically they were losing control of these aircraft and crashing them. But I want to make sure I'm wording this right. General Chuck Yeager, I don't want to call him lucky. He successfully did it. I'll just say that. Oh, that pilot was lucky. I don't like saying that. Okay. So you see the P-51 Mustang, and you will also see the Bell X-1. I know he was born in West Virginia. And because I know some West Virginians that were really, Matthew, it's good to see you, brother. I'm seeing blasts from the past and stuff like that. I see Matthew in the building. That's what's up. Good. I hope you're studying, and I hope you are following these live streams, sir. Okay. Ron S.W. He brings a question. Okay, so that is our historical piece. Now we're going to do something in aerodynamics. Okay. So, I'd like to talk about, and Google calls it semi-monocoque aircraft construction. Semi-monocoque.
Here's the definition of semi-monocoque. Relating to or denoting aircraft or vehicle structures combining a load-bearing shell with integral frames.
Okay, so this relates to aircraft construction. I'm posting this on the Facebook page as well, because a lot of the aircraft construction that we fly in are of what we would call semi-monocoque construction. I had one, I don't know if it was Alexa or something, she was calling it semi-monocoque. But semi-monocoque is what I've always been calling it, and so until somebody gives me some reason why I shouldn't, we will keep calling that. So this semi-monocoque term refers to a stressed shell structure that is similar to a true monocoque, but which derives at least some of its strength from conventional reinforcement. Semi-monocoque construction is used for, among other things, aircraft fuselages, car bodies, and motorcycle frames. Okay, so this construction is not just used with aircraft. All right, so semi-monocoque construction. I'd actually like to introduce you guys to the actual aircraft you will be flying in primary, and it has a semi-monocoque construction. Basically, what this is the skin actually bears some of the load, and there's something that you need to watch for because the skin is bearing some of the load, and some signs when you are pre-flighting for structural damage. That rivets. So let's see the T6 Texan 2. All right.
According to Wikipedia, the Beechcraft T6 Texan II is a single-engine turboprop aircraft built by the Raytheon Aircraft Company.
Now, the Air Force and the Navy both operates these in your primary training, and this is the first aircraft that you will see after, in the Navy aviation pre-flight indoctrination. In the United States Air Force, it's probably after your initial flight screening, because you'll probably see the actual T41, which is the military version of the Cessna 172 Skyhawk. And the T41, the nickname I think is called Mescalero. I'll confirm that in a second here. But it's a Cessna. When I was in a flying club at McGuire Air Force Base, when they had a flying club years ago, they had T41s, and they were just like Cessnas. So, you have a group of aircraft, and if, the regular Cessna 172 wasn't available, you fly the T41. And the panel was like very similar and all that and everything. T41 Training Aircraft.
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. The Cessna T41 Mescalero is a military version of the popular Cessna 172, operated by the United States Air Force and Army.
See, so I was right. It was the nickname called the Mescalero. So, I talked about the training aircraft, and I posted the T6. The T41 is a version of the Cessna 172. So before you go to initial flight screening, I would encourage you to go to your local airport. If you live in an area and you don't know if there's an airport near you that may have Cessna 172s, you can post a message on our message board, and I can get you to the actual flight school. You can do something called a discovery flight. And it's just to go up, you pre-flight, you walk around. I used to do discovery flights when I was a full-time flight instructor. So sometimes people give it as a gift, and they'll be like, hey, I know you want to fly for the Navy or the Air Force, but you know what? I got this gift certificate, and it's a free flight. Well, they've paid for it as a gift. It's free to you. And basically, in that discovery flight, I'll take you up, and I will tell everybody, listen, in 10 minutes, you will be at the controls. You will be flying these airplanes. This airplane, it was always a goal for me. So when you get to the flight school, or what we call a fixed base operator, there's probably a flight school there. And there'll be instructors there kind of hanging out and everything. You walk in, hey, I got a discovery flight. And instructors, okay, come on. Now, what their goal is to get you to, get you interested in flying, so nobody's going to get you up there scare the hell out of you, nothing like that. And every flight instructor is a commercial pilot. The criteria for even becoming a commercial pilot is you have to be very, very smooth at the controls. You have to demonstrate that you're very smooth with the controls and low speed and high speed situations and stuff like that, and that you have ultimate control of the aircraft. So when you go to this discovery flight, which I recommend everybody, if you are not working on a private pilot certificate, you should at least have a discovery flight so you can get a taste of the flight environment. You can see what it's like. You can watch what the pilot does, and you can get a feel for the controls. And that's basically what I would do in a discovery flight. I get them up. Okay, this is level flight. Watch the dash. Notice how I control the aircraft, and you know, if the dash leans this way in relation to the horizon, we're gonna add some aileron and then let it out, and then I'll show them how to get it unlevel and level, how to climb, descent, and everything like that. And then after that, after I give them the instructions, they're at the controls, and basically, um, they're at the controls, and so basically, my arms are folded like this, and I'm just giving them instructions. I might add a little power or take a little power away, but they're actually flying the controls. They're operating the controls. So it's just to give them a feel for what the pilots see in the cockpit and the instruments and things of that nature. All right. So if you guys are thinking about becoming Air Force pilots and you're taking the AFOQT, I recommend you guys do a discovery flight. I think preferably after you pass your test, because then it's more realistic that you could possibly be selected for flight training, and you don't want to go to initial flight screening totally green. You could, people have done it and they get through it, but I do not recommend it. Even if you have to save up a little bit and pay for a discovery flight. They vary from state to state and flight school to flight school and everything like that as far as the pricing. But like I said, if you reach out to me here on the channel, I will get you in contact with a FBO, if not even an instructor, because I am definitely outreaching to all the fixed base operators and flight schools and things like that. And maybe, I don't know, I might do something down the road where I'm just thinking out loud. No, I won't even say it, because I'm thinking about some type of sweepstakes or something like that. But, we'll get to that. Yeah. And actually, I don't know. Matter of fact, Joe, I don't know if you're here, Joe, in the chat, but yeah, Joe Marlowe is a flight instructor. And yeah, I'll definitely drive some traffic to you, bro. Because, quite a few people come across my channel, watch my channel, and so I'll send them there to you to ask for you directly. So, you get credit for that. All right. Yeah, Joe's in here. Okay, good. Joe is in here. So, yeah. Good. Joe's marketing already. That's what's up. But I already had that in mind, bro. I already had that in mind because I was just thinking, yeah, Joe's a flight instructor. So, yeah, anybody that's in the aviation community, yo, feel free. And hopefully you guys are telling them about my channel. I'm not just sending you guys business. Y'all don't send me nothing. That's crazy. No, but I don't believe Joe would do that. But I'm just being silly. Just being me. Yeah, so the discovery flight is really an awesome thing. And, I recommend it before you go to initial flight screening. Because I'd rather have a guy sitting there as an instructor. If I'm looking for a guy that's going to be a pilot applicant, you'll be in the left seat, the instructor or the examiner or the guy that's leading the initial flight screening will be in the right seat and looking at you. And just make sure you're not turning green over there or anything like that, or that you're not just out of your element so much. Because you are going to be out of your element for a little bit, because it is really not normal for human beings to get in the planes and fly. It's fun, but it's not normal. It's not normal. And, so it's fun. We become normalized as pilots to the flight environment because we're in it a lot, And 1 month, most pilots would go up and down in an aircraft more than most people will go in their whole lives, especially as flight instructors. When you're in the pattern and you're doing closed traffic with your student and you're practicing takeoffs and landings, it's like, boom, up in the pattern, touch and go, back up in the pattern. Or if they need help with their takeoffs, then you'll stop, back, taxi, exit the runway, taxi back, and then practice takeoffs. But okay, so that is the aviation information side of things. It wasn't very much, as I've had a very busy day, but I am definitely going to come back and hit you guys harder with more aviation stuff and some other Air Force history or United States Air Force history. Okay, so questions. Post the questions. Again, if you are one of my students, your question is going to take priority over, somebody just coming into the channel. Before I go through that, new faces. Ron SW. Okay, I don't remember ever seeing you here, but welcome to the channel. Joe. And if everybody can hear me, please hit one. Please hit one. And hit that like or dislike button on YouTube. On the Facebook side of things, I see Brock. Brock, I wish you the best of luck on your test on Tuesday. Now, Brock has not, we tried to make an attempt to, I've tried to contact you, but I think we had some type of communication error on Skype or something like that. But I just, I hope you do well, because most people are not prepared for the exam. And, I believe Brock is a ROTC cadet, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Brock. But I believe when we talked briefly, I thought I heard that you were a ROTC cadet, and congratulations to you for being a ROTC cadet. And you're in the loop about a lot of things and stuff like that. And I think that you will possibly be pulled or selected probably prior to a Joe Blow off the street, because ROTC, guys, is a really, really good thing. And I kind of know I'm like going off of tangent, but I was a junior ROTC cadet. I was a college ROTC cadet. So, these guys, they already know how to wear a uniform. They know drill and ceremonies. If you don't have an ROTC in your high school or in your area, there's another organization called the Civil Air Patrol. I was also a Civil Air Patrol cadet. So I was really like an active kid. Like I was a CAP, I was an ROTC cadet. Almisha can confirm this, because me and Almisha go way back. I don't know if she's still on here, but she said she did say hello. But I've known Almisha a long time. When I was a teenager, I was an ROTC cadet. I was a Civil Air Patrol cadet. The beautiful thing about the Civil Air Patrol is they actually have airplanes. They provide search and rescue services. They're an auxiliary of the United States Air Force, and cadets can get a lot of information and contacts with United States Air Force personnel, because there's United States Air Force liaisons members that are kind of like that gateway from the Air Force to the Civil Air Patrol. But the Civil Air Patrol has a lot of rich history. They actually used to go hunting submarines and stuff like that. But right now, primarily, their mission is search and rescue, aerospace education. So it's an awesome place for cadets, and it means a lot. You wear uniform, flight suits, learn drilling ceremonies, and I was a Civil Air Patrol cadet, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful service. So if you guys have younger cousins, siblings, or whatever, this is what I recommend. Another thing that I recommend for your siblings and stuff, like when they go into their freshman year, Reader's Digest. It's on the Facebook timeline. Reader's Digest is the best book vocabulary-wise that you can get to prepare for yourselves for SATs, that vocabulary section. For 4 years, if you're building up your vocabulary like that, your vocabulary is going to be stellar. So, shout out to Civil Air Patrol, Reader's Digest. Reader's Digest did not pay me to endorse them. But I just, think it's all in all awesome what they do. United States Army Air Corps. Okay, yeah. And we didn't say Corps. I think they just call it the Corps. Like the Marine Corps. They don't call it the Marine Corps. They call it the Marine Corps. All right. So thank you for that constructive criticism, Brock. Appreciate it. And I would like to have a conversation with you after you take that SIFT. Definitely would like to have a concept. Our Skype connection was terrible, but we can Google Hangout or do it by phone. But I'm very curious about the information as to what you saw. You can also post it on the Facebook page. I've had guys do that before. They tell us about their test experiences, and they type it in on the message board on stemwithkino.com on Facebook. So, hey, I'm like, hey, look, all the real eyes-on information we can get is very, very welcome. It's welcome. All right, problems. Okay, so I was working with a group, and we got to the end, and time ran out on us, and I promised them that, hey, look, man, I'm going to do these problems on a live stream. Man, that red is hard to get off, isn't it, guys? All right. And we're going to put more red on. Okay, so the first question was 1 2/5 minus negative 3 3/4. Okay. Now, there's a couple ways that you can attack this problem. Hold on, let me look at my Facebook, make sure my Facebook people are getting a good angle on this board. Yes, they are. They're getting a great angle on this board. Okay. Just want to make sure because my camera's kind of like offset as opposed to the YouTube camera. So, executing this problem, you could do this a couple ways. You can change the common denominators if you like. Me personally, I believe in executing problems as quickly as possible, busting them, breaking them down, and moving forward. So what I would do is I would change these to improper fractions. All right, and I'm going to show you a method that most of you guys aren't aware of or you don't use. And all right, so we'll change them to improper fractions. 5 times 1 is 5 7/5 minus negative 12 or 15 over 4. All right, now this negative is going to distribute and actually make that a positive. All right, so boom, you'll be adding. So now what I would do is this times this plus this times this over this times this. I'll tell you what I mean. 7 times 4 is 28 plus, because this is what we're doing, 5 times 15, 30, 60, 75 over 20. We add these and we will get, we'll add these, we'll get 13, 103 over 20. Okay, so we'll get 103 over 20. Now, the test will probably not have that displayed. So, this is what it would be, a mixed number. 20 goes into 100 5 times. We'll have 3 remaining. Boom. So, 5 over 3/20 is the correct answer, guys. 5 over 3/20. Shout out to DRG. He was in the room as this problem was being executed. But you just see how fast I did it instead of looking for common denominators and all that stuff. I made them improper fractions. I cross-multiplied and showed you my method. Don't worry about it. I have another one. Don't worry about it. Please hit that like button and please follow me on Facebook if you are not following me already. And please tell your units if you guys are OTC guys. Tell us about your units. If you're recruiters, tell your OTS candidates about us. All right. The second one was 2 4/5 minus 5/8. Again, this is a proper fraction. I'll make this and this 2 should have been a little bit bigger and higher. All right, there. 5 times 2 is 10, 14 over 5. Again, I use my method. Now, you may not like this, but 8, 32, 2 kilo. All right, I do that sometimes. 8, 1, 12. No. All right, 32, you drop the 2, carry the 3, 8, 1, 1. It was 112. Minus, because this is what we're doing, minus 5 times 5 is 25. And then the bottom is going to be multiplied. So we're going to have 40 on the bottom. And 112 minus 25, 0, 7, 8. 87. So 87 over 40. All right. 40 goes into 80 2 times, and then we'll have 7 remaining. So our answer is going to be 7 over 40. If everybody saw that and they understood my method, please hit 2. Hit 2 in the chat, whether you're Facebook or shout out to Jonathan. I see you, Jonathan. All right. Hit 2 if you understood the move. And hit 3 if you saw how remarkably fast this is. Shout out to Quanisha. I see you. Quanisha passed the aviation selection test battery last week. So congratulations to you, and I appreciate you coming back to visit us here at our little old channel. I feel like I'm down south. Y'all come back now, you hear? So yeah, this is really an awesomely fast method. Instead of looking for, and this thing is, the test is not, the time is not your friend. You are going to have to learn how to execute problems rapidly because you want to build points. And you build points by getting correct answers and answering them very efficiently. You want to be efficient. I don't want you to rush, but you want to be efficient. So let's work with some smaller numbers. So you guys, so if we had 1/2 plus 1/4. Now in my head, I know that that's 3/4. A half and a quarter is 1/4, but 1 times 4 is 4, plus 2 times 1 is 2, and the bottom just multiplies directly across. 4 plus 2 is 6 over 8. They're both divisible by 2, 3/4. All right, I said it was 3/4. But you can't move any faster than that on fractions. Not that I've seen. All right. And I've been doing this for a little minute, guys. Just a little minute. All right. Alrighty. Yeah. So yeah, Ariel, I am going to sing your praises tomorrow in the OAR ASTB, E, and in the United States Army SIF. And you too, Quanisha. And you too, Austin. And somebody said something. You're right, that's the fastest anybody move when it comes to fractions. Yeah. That's what I teach my guys when I'm tutoring them. I teach them how to solve math problems efficiently. Most people don't know how. And in a lot of cases, and I say this every week, in some cases you don't even have to solve problems all the way. If you understand test strategy and when it comes to multiple choice, a lot of times you don't even need to solve the question all the way. So, all right, let's move on. All right. Okay, somebody sent the question about a heads-up display. That's more of an aviation information question. They have them on cars now, but they started out on aircraft. They started out on military aircraft and then some commercial aircraft. So let me pull up an image so you guys can follow on Facebook, all right? Aircraft heads-up display.
According to Radiant Vision Systems.
So, let's think about the skies are getting more and more congested. I mean, back in the day, you really didn't have a bunch of pilots, but now there are more and more pilots. People are seeing it as a reality right now, and so there's more birds in the air. Now, around areas where, at altitude and stuff like that, it's really not an issue. But when we get around airport traffic areas, that's where there's major congestion of airplanes departing and landing. So as a result, if you're in between, you've got an airport here and the airport maybe like 100 miles away, nautical miles away, here, you're going to be fine. You're not really going to, you might find somebody maybe crossing your path above you, below you, or something like this. But when you're trying to make traffic for certain, airports and stuff like that, and that actually should have been extended, right? All right. This is where everybody's kind of coming in and getting in the pattern for landing and stuff like that, like in uncontrolled fields. And then if you're at a tower field, there could be a lot of congestion, typically like in the morning and in the afternoon, in the 4 or 5ish. So what they did was they realized that if you look at the dash, and it's kind of similar to the dash of your car, you have instruments and you have gauges and you have information that you have to read and look at to understand how fast you're going, your attitude, your altitude, turn coordination, your heading, and stuff like that. But what the heads-up display system does, and I did not post a picture. Bad Kino. All right. So there's a civilian one and there's a military one that I'm posting up. But it came to the military. The military started using heads-up displays first. And thank you, Pinterest and FlyingMag.com. I try my best to make sure that everybody gets their credit. So I don't want nobody coming after me saying, "Oh, you used our picture." I'm like, hey, it's for the promotion of aviation. I wouldn't care if somebody like, hey, we saw your video, Kino. Like, okay. We want everybody to get the information. We want people to be safe. Okay, so on the Facebook page, what you can see is you can see a glass. It's a glass like in front of a transparent glass that's in front of your field of vision as you look out of the cockpit. And then they have information like airspeed, altitude, sometimes vertical speed, heading information, a pitch ladder to take place of so you know whether you're nose up, nose down, level, and stuff like that. So instead of focusing down here on the instrument panel, like I'm flying like this, looking at the instrument panel, I'm actually looking through this glass that has information projected on it. And at the same time, I can see what's going on outside the aircraft. All right. So the heads-up display, that is what it's for. It's so your head is up. Heads-up display. All right. So you can see your airspeed, heading, altitude information. Sometimes you can even plug in, it'll superimpose navigation information. If a navigator is 100 nautical miles away from me, you might see 100.0 nm. All right. Your airspeed, you could just readily see it. Am I fast? Am I slow? Because I'm still scanning and I'm looking out for traffic and stuff like that. So heads-up displays are very, very good tools to have in your aircraft if your organization can afford it. But they're very expensive, and everybody in aviation is maintenance, 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 maintenance. All right. I don't think this would be a part of a minimum equipment list. Because you have backup. You have your actual analog, or what we call steam gauges. So no, I don't think that would be on a minimum equipment list. Like if it was to break or malfunction or something like that, I guess you could flip it up in the civilian world and just stop using it. On the military side of things, I think they would just fix it. Because if you have a tactical mission, it's like, oh yeah, you're flying this mission without a heads-up display. I couldn't see that happening. So the heads-up display. And that was a good question from Jim. Jim, shout out to you, brother. He's actually with me preparing for the SIFT test. So he asked about the heads-up display. And they do have them in rotary wing aircraft as well. 4 minutes, guys. So, congratulations to Earl, Katie, Quanisha, Ariel. Said Ariel a couple times. Austin. I got everybody. In the last 2 weeks, man, that's how many people that come from this STEMwithKino.com family that has passed their OAR, AFOQT, or SIFT. I prepare people for all the exams. And even if you're taking the ASVAB, you can come here for help. Because for my SIFT people, you actually have to take the ASVAB and obtain a certain GT score. I think it's 115 or 119 or 120, somewhere around here. So you want your GT score to be up. Okay. Let's just see what we got here. All right. John Estevez. Yeah, I got you next. And I have Estevez and I have Collins after this. And after that, I'm done, man. Oh my God, man. At 8 o'clock evening, you need ASVAB. Okay, well, one of my people in here, if you guys could just post how RW can get in contact with me on Skype, that would be great, guys. Yeah, but yeah, if you're taking a SIFT, you need to prep for that ASVAB, and you need a 120 GT score. So you definitely want that up and not down. Otherwise, your recruiter's not going to touch you. The thing about the ASVAB is you need to score. You got to look at the job that you want, and so you can get the scores or focus on the areas so you can get the scores if you want in that area. If you're not that math savvy and electronic savvy, they're not going to send you to school to be an electrician. They're going to do what is best for the military. So um, it's good for you to get yourself squared away in the math areas and stuff like that, and that's what we do with people. Um, we get them together, we get them squared away, and week after week after week, we're coming back with people that come back with passes and stuff like that. So we're still at the 100% pass rate at this point. Um, there have been some people in the past that have taken the test against my blessing, and they passed, but they didn't do it as well as they could have done. And the thing is you want to have a competitive score. You just do. You want to have a competitive score. If the board is looking at 58, 57, 54s, and then, oh, look, 42. The military is pretty practical. So it is 6 o'clock, guys. I thank each and every one of you guys for coming to the live stream. If you need tutoring, you can reach out to me at Kino, KIENO.THOMAS on Skype or KinoThomas@gmail.com. I hope you guys hit that like button for me, please, or dislike. If you dislike the video, just hit something. It's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. And to my Facebook people, all right, I'm glad each and every one of you guys showed up. Brock, I would like to hear from you after Tuesday when you take this exam. I'd like a good debrief from you and stuff. We can do it by phone or Google Hangouts, either way. So I thank everybody for coming in. John, I'm coming, brother. Stand by on Skype. I actually, I have somebody that I'm tutoring right after this session. So, John, yeah, I'm going to get some drink really, really quick. It's going to take me a minute or two, and then I'll reach out to you on Skype. To my Facebook people. No, my YouTube. I always close down YouTube first. All right, so to my YouTube people, thanks for coming out, ladies and gentlemen. And especially Quanisha for coming back and checking in with me and just checking out the channel, stuff like that. Thank you very much. To my YouTube people, peace. See you later. To my Facebook people, peace. See you later. And we out of here. Aaron Dunn. Yeah, I just stated.